ChesZerae, a.k.a. Miss Harlem Brown EyesZ. We're actually on a set of her music video, Nowhere, and I'd just like to talk to you a little bit more about what the video entails, what the song entails, and just give a little description about who you are and let the public know that's watching you on the web, on television and everything, about how you started in the business. And some people may want to know, how can I get in the business? But before we get deep into that, I just want to know, everybody would like to know, who is Miss Harlem Brown EyesZ? How did you ever get started? And what is this video that you're doing actually, Nowhere, is all about?
Well, I started out with a passion in college. I ended up graduating as a history major, but I decided I didn't want to do history as a full-time career, so to speak, and I started tapping into my creative side, and I realized that I initially enjoy singing. I love entertaining, I like to model, I like lights, cameras.
Okay.
So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a shot, see what happens, and I started putting my stuff out on MySpace. That's where I started out at.
Okay, like a lot of people, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people started giving me good feedback and saying that, you know what, this music is great, let's see what else you got, and started taking it further and further and further. So now I'm at a point where I do this professionally, and so I'm working on the first video, Nowhere, and I'm very excited about it. Basically, Nowhere is a romantic, kind of a popish song, and it just kind of captivates the love of two people, and I basically express that I'm not going anywhere to my love. And it's just a message out to other people to, when you have a love, express yourself.
Yes.
Really let them know that I'm here.
Yes.
I'm not going anywhere, you're my heart, that kind of thing. So as far as getting into business ends of it with entertainment,
yes.
I do have a Harlem Brown Productions, that's the name of my company, so that will specialize in producing an independent record label.
Yes.
And also I plan on opening up a spa.
So
a lot of people are familiar, and people are learning more and more about the Harlem Law Spa, where we are located now. And basically what takes place there is the facials, 40 minutes for $25. So the prices will go up in 2012, but right now that's what we're going at because it's good for the economy. So when people feel like, oh man, it's tough, I can still treat myself, I can still feel special and whatnot. So that's pretty much it.
Well, I'd like to know, who are your inspirations coming up? I mean, everybody was inspired by somebody. I mean, me as an actor, my inspirations as a comedian, my inspirations are people like Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Denzel Washington, Schwarzenegger. Who were your inspirations that you would say coming up in the singing world?
Well, there's quite a few, so just to name a few.
Yeah, just to name a few. You ain't got to name them all, there's a bunch out there, but just to name a few.
I'm going to go with Sade. Sade is a very, very soulful.
Oh, yes.
She's a classic.
I was a big fan of Sade, still am, when I was here coming up. Okay.
And I'm going to say Mary J. Blige, definitely, because she really taps into that womanhood and the emotions of a woman, and she relates universally to a lot of people. Prince, the ultimate sex symbol. Like, I mean,
I would say this.
What can we say about Prince? I mean, this is awesome.
I haven't met or saw one woman that said they didn't like Prince.
Right.
I don't know what it is or anything. One woman that said they didn't like Prince, or he wasn't an inspiration to me. I don't know what it is. Okay, great. You got Prince. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say Luther Vandross.
Okay.
I'm going to say Ella Fitzgerald.
Okay.
And Mahalia Jackson. She's definitely a classic.
Gospel,
we're taking it way back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The originator.
Yes.
Yeah, many people may not know who Mahalia Jackson is, but she's like one of the originators back in the days of James Cleveland starting the gospel. In fact, I believe she started a long time ago, before he had started. Okay, great. So you're talking legends. Okay, that's good.
True legends, yeah.
That's good. Now, I want to ask you, because you're pretty much a jack of all trades. You're singing, you're modeling, you're doing all that. Which one would you say that you like doing the best? Which one would be your favorites?
I don't know, that's kind of hard to say. I think I enjoy them all, but I guess I'll say that I'm mostly passionate about singing because that's the way or the pavement to healing. When you sing to people, you speak to their hearts, you speak to their minds, you speak to their experiences, you speak to their future experiences. So music is definitely my universal language to everyone.
Yes. Okay. Now I want to ask you a question also, because this is very important. as you know, there's been a diversity and change in the music business, entertainment.
Absolutely.
Would you say the music, how would you view the music of today with artists such as Beyonce, Carrie Hilson, Keisha Cole, and the list goes on, Usher and all of them, you know, Chris Brown? How would you say the music today is different than the music back then when you have people like Freddie Jackson, Luther Vandross, The Whispers, Mahalia Jackson, and all of them? How would you say the music is different, and, you know, as far as this singing? Because back then when people sung, they sung mostly out their hearts and, you know, out their soul. They really meant something, even when you did jazz. So how would you differentiate, tell the difference, and also what would you say, what is your opinion on music today?
My opinion on music today is music, whether it was then or now, is still a way of an expression. So I really think that the talent today, there's still talent out there, definitely.
Yes.
I think there's still the full-blown message of expression, as I repeated. But today, it seems like the heart in the music, it's not exactly centered as it used to be. It seems like, you know, a lot of it's just based on entertainment and kind of, you know, this fast-paced environment of just living and just, and that's it. But I think that music back then, to a great extent, was more about not only are we living in the moment, but we're living for tomorrow. We're touching on the future and whatnot. So I'm not going to say that today's music is bad, because I don't believe that. It's just that, as you and I and maybe many other people can agree, that it has been a big difference. There's not a lot of intimacy that I can relate to anymore in the lyrics, but you know, to each his own, and you know, the entertainment industry is definitely going a certain direction, and that's just how it is, you know. My opinion on music in general today, I'm just going to say that it is very interesting. It's very interesting, so it's very interesting.
Is the word, yes. Okay, great. Now I want to ask you this, based on what you said, intimacy. Would you say artists today, when they sing songs, is it more love messages that you can receive than you did back then? Like when you had, you know, artists like you said, Prince when he first started, even the great Michael Jackson when he first started, and the list goes on, Luther Vandross. Would you say that artists today, when they sing, is it more based on love, or then like it was before, or is just more based on I'm just selling a record? And your opinion, or would you have an opinion on that?
Well, my personal opinion.
And how would you yourself say that as an artist coming up now, that you're pretty much is different than the artists that you hear now?
Well, my opinion is this. I think that today's artists, you can find pieces, you can find parts that do express true love. It depends on the lyrics. It depends on how the person interprets it. It also depends on what kind of mood you're in. So there are some songs out there that totally portray the full-blown romance, as Luther Vandross would maybe sing about a love, so to speak. Or if we went back into time when there was Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald maybe doing
the greats, the legends.
Doing some songs together, and they express love between a man and a woman. But then you have Beyonce, you know, which is up to date, 1+1. You know, and that's a very strong love song in my opinion. It speaks to me, so it would be really difficult to say, oh well, you know, every new song out here these days is not really based on some type of intimacy, so to speak. All right.
Now, one more question. Would you say it's much easier today to break in the music business than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago? Because I remember back then, even as myself starting in the music business, you have to send a demo tape to the record company and they have to approve and see is it good enough for them to sign you. But now, like you said, everybody's going on the internet. So it's like people coming out and making their own stuff, put on the internet, and like they just blown up like overnight. So would you say right now, you know, with the fact that music business has changed a whole lot, would you say it's a whole lot more advanced and a better opportunities for new and upcoming artists like yourself to have a better chance to actually being noticed with the fact we got the YouTube, we got everything else like that? Would you say it's a lot more easier today than it was back then?
Well, that's a very touchy subject, but I'll say this. It's based on, and it's always been based on who you know to a great extent.
Yes.
So that's definitely not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
As far as today, we do have a lot of opportunities because we have, everything is digitalized now. So
Yes,
the
it
music
is.
industry
Yes.
has definitely moved into this digital
Yes.
aspect.
has.
So you can definitely upload videos on YouTube. You can
Yes.
literally talk to people worldwide within
Yes.
less than a minute.
Oh, yes.
You know,
yes,
it's not
you
the
can.
same, you know, how back then people had to actually write people or had to do, you know, purchase phone cards and things like that. I mean, we can Skype. You know, we have Facebook, these
Yes.
major social networking sites
Yes.
such as MySpace. And so it is a great lucrative opportunity, digitally
Okay.
speaking.
Yes, yes.
But then on the flip side of that, we have an overwhelming amount of artists all of a sudden.
Yes.
So if you have a studio in your house, you can basically record anything. You don't have to go to a more professional studio
Yes.
or as far as making videos, for example,
Yes.
anyone can use a camera at this
Yes.
point.
Oh, yes.
Add a light.
Oh, yes.
You know, that kind of thing. So
Light is very important.
it's a matter of you have to make sure you have a plan. You have to pave the way
Okay.
properly. You use your digital abilities to your best, and you have to also know people. You
Yes.
have to be linked to the right people
Yes.
so that they can find you so that you can be exposed properly.
Yes.
So that would be my outtake on it.
Okay, all right, so that pretty much covered all. ChesZerae, Harlem Brown EyesZ, thank you so much for taking time in your busy schedule. I know you're a very busy person. I love your music. I love the video because I'm directing it, but you know, it's a great, and I really believe and I know you're going to really go far. And when people hear your music, they're going to really be touched and you're going to change lives all over the world.
I see.
Y'all be on the lookout for ChesZerae, a.k.a. Harlem Brown EyesZ. Watch it. Bye-bye.